All right, you want to call me Elf on a Shelf? Go ahead, let's get it over with. Elf on a Shelf, whatever else you want to call me. You like my mutton chops here? You like my new hairstyle? That's right. It's Grievance Gordy, and I have the 8 pitches to save Hollywood. Now everybody's talking about how Hollywood's going down in flames. Oh my God, they're worshiping Moloch. I'm in West Hollywood, and the only thing I see them worshiping are bollocks. Anyway. These are the 8 pitches to save Hollywood. Don't ever forget, my main pitch is, of course, Linoleum Blown Apart. Oh, that's easy for others to do. So, my main pitch here is Linoleum Blown Apart. Okay, oops. Blown Apart. And this is available Shut up. Looks great. That's my main pitch, okay? So this is available on Kindle. You can read it yourself for free. That's my treatment. I don't write shooting scripts, okay? Those are a waste of time. They got writers that they want to employ here, or however they want to write it, I don't know. It's about a punk rock band in the 1980s. I supply all the music to start, and later on, if it picks up, if you want to employ music written by other bands, that's up to you. The music comes with it, which is huge. The songs were written in the 1980s, okay? And they get their inspiration from a Kubrickian director who made 7 films. I have the treatments for all 7 films as well. So that's numero uno, that's the big one, okay? So these are the 8 pitches to save Hollywood. That's what I'm here to do, save Hollywood, right? The second one is called Golden Years. Golden Years, whoop, whoop, whoop. Yes, and we do need the song by David Bowie, without exception. This treatment is about a aged rock and roll couple, and they have to find their marriage certificate before they lose their medical benefits. Their benefits will get cut because they have to prove that they're married. These are all pilot episodes. I have more than the pilot for Linoleum Blown Apart because that's my main project, but the rest are all pilots, okay? And these pilots will eventually be put up on Kindle. And by the way, I'll be animating my book, Two-Legged Animal, through AI. So that's one of my challenges, one of my projects that I'm also working on. So slowly but surely, we're gonna get all this stuff done. You better know that's right. That's right. I'm Grievance Gordy. These are the 8 great pitches that will save Hollywood. I'm in West Hollywood now. I moved here 3 years ago. I've been eating off the EBT menu, and I've been wearing the same clothes for about 10 years. I don't care about those things. I was actually picked to work at Ralph Lauren on his Double RL line, which was in the 1990s. I wrote an entire album of music before I was 25. I moved to New York and I got work as an actor right away. I started working nonstop. Later on, I moved to Las Vegas where I was targeted on the streets for a queer blowjob with the police department. Through the police department, they ran a 20-year op utilizing that information to try to get me to self-harm 20 years later. And I know the people involved were actually from the Detroit punk rock scene. And oh well, that's what you're into. That's what you're into. At least I got a book to show for it, and I have all my music. My music is going to be congressionally registered with the property of Linoleum Blown Apart. You better know that's right. That's right. All right, all right. We're only on number 3. Number 3 is local legends. Okay, local legends. Oh, by the way, Golden Years. In between the story of the rock and roll couple who live in the back property now, they live in the pool house. He had to give up his main rock and roll mansion. They all go broke. We all know that. In between that, we're going to be showing animated stories of old rock and roll tales from their books. These rock and roll guys who wrote books and they tell their salacious stories and stuff like that. Okay, so those are going to be animated like The Simpsons and the Tracy Ullman Show, if you guys remember that. So we have something to cut to so it's not so boring. It's not just about this rock and roll couple. Okay? And it's also going to be juxtaposed with the couple who move in, who are these tech nerd, vapid, blah, 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 whatever. Okay, so let's go to Local Legends is next, okay? Local Legends, very easy. This is like American Pickers right there. American Pickers and Grinners, okay? So it's a very easy, multi-camera, a setup, Canon 9. Someone comes in with a handheld. You go to the various cities across the United States, and you talk to the local salties, the local salts, you would call them, the local bartenders, maybe some guys who put out some records and went on tour, a band that you never heard of. If you went back to Detroit, you probably talked to the Trash Brats, bands like that, people like that who just hang out in bars all day. They smell like Frank's hot sauce and Clorox bleach rags, but hey, they're proud of that. I wouldn't be, but whatever. So that's the idea of the show. I'm thinking of like the Effigies. Talk to some of the guys from the Effigies. And some other types of bands. It doesn't have to be punk rock. That's what I'm all about. Make no mistake about it. I just was listening to, what's her name? Miranda July. She's a filmmaker and a writer, and she was into punk rock. A lot of people are into punk rock. I was just listening to Gwen Stefani. She didn't even start writing songs until she was in her band for over 10 years. I was in my band for 10 years, and I walked away. I walked away because we were being targeted, we were being harassed, and we were being marginalized. And that harassment continued for 30 years. And the people involved, it's unconscionable what they did, and I'll be exposing them as well, make no mistake about it. So that's Local Legends, basically. Very easy. It's like American Pickers. You travel around, you talk to salty individuals, and they supply all the B-roll. The B-roll is going to be their flyers, their records, and this kind of stuff. Very easy show to do, okay? So speaking of harassment, I was harassed through the Facebook app. People like my wife thought it was funny. They wanted me to self-harm, and they wanted me offed. And my drummer was involved, and my wife was involved too. So even though Facebook is huge, all these companies do take dips and dives, and they do need to reinvent themselves. Okay, so this is LifeSwap / the name game, just like Shirley Ellis, the name game. Shirley, Bo Burley, Banana Fana, Fo Furley. Everybody loves that stuff. This is a kind of game show, reality show, just like Local Legends. It's going to be a reality show, game show, that my parents love to watch. Okay? They love this kind of stuff here. So this is it, and it's going to have a Facebook tie-in. Now, again, if Facebook doesn't want it, because my wife and my drummer were using the Facebook app to torture people, they use it to harass individuals. I'll be talking to Peter Thiel directly about that. Then we can go somewhere else. We don't need Facebook. We'll go to another platform. Okay, but I think Facebook is fun. Facebook is more boomer friendly, and Facebook has to continue to reinvent itself because people lose interest. And what you do is you find people with the same name. I'm Gordon Douglas Eisen, and I would be life swapping. Now, these are pilot episodes. I would be life swapping with Gordon Keith Eisen, who also played in a punk rock band in Manchester, England. I grew up in Detroit. So you can see the similarities. We don't look anything alike because I happen to be part Western African, just like a lot of Creole, Lumbee, Seminole, Puerto Rican, and others. They call them Latino, but we don't speak Spanish. That's the only difference. So basically like that, I call them maroons, just to kind of go off on a tangent. People get marooned places. We're related to Sir Walter Raleigh, who marooned people in Roanoke. It was Virginia. It's not Virginia, but it was North Carolina. So I'm Carolingian, somewhere down the line. Oh, that's right, King Charles, Charlemagne. So anyways, I'm sorry guys, I gotta have fun. So this is Life swap. They're just swapping lives. Very simple. Local legends. Very simple. It's a reality show. You go talk to these people. They get to tell their stories. Great stuff for A&E. Golden years. It's a Johnny Depp style character. He is in the Hollywood Vampires right now. It's perfect. They could just step into this role, and then all you have is the animation that you would cut to these. And this is classic rock. This is the evolution of classic rock, guys. These guys want to still make their money with people like Eminem, Abracadabra, and all these classic rock songs because they want to keep that money in the family. This is another way of keeping the money in the family. I came up at 6 Mile and Chalmers, all right? And then they made a film about 8 Mile, okay? I came up at 6 Mile. I am the real thing, not Coca-Cola. I was on the set with A-listers before Jack White and before, what's his name from the, what do you call it? The kid with the car dealership, rap rock guy, okay? And then, of course, Linoleum Blown Apart. That's my favorite. That's my baby. We're going to take it all the way, okay? So that is Facebook. Again, these guys have to reinvent themselves. There is no doubt. Here's another one. These are the 8 great pitches. Yeah. I don't know if you can say that. It's called Parkway Pals. Okay, this I came up with a really long time ago. This was back when there were still issues in Afghanistan. I was picturing more of an Afghani character. Okay, so you have a Bill Burr type working class, grounded for life type, and he gets rear-ended by somebody from another country. Okay, so there's conflict there, right? Speak English, that kind of stuff, right? Rather silly. We could play into these, right? So you'll have to pick who and what country you want it from. I think they have some English teacher class with somebody from India. I think there's a big crossover with India. Could be India, could be Pakistan, could be Afghanistan, could be anywhere. Okay, but he and the working class guy get into an accident. They starts off in a fight, then they become thick as thieves. Okay, so the American guy is living the American dream, which is kind of running out of time. His kids are leaving, and he might be getting a divorce. The gentleman from another country comes here with his, bride that's picked for him. She wants to become a Kardashian. That's all she knows. She's very vapid. And the two gentlemen are not vapid. They're not materialistic, right? They're more philosophical, just like Tim Allen. You guys remember Tim Allen? I saw Tim Allen on stage in Detroit. He was hilarious before he got his show, and he's had numerous shows. This would be perfect vehicle for Tim Allen's production company. By the way, Linoleum Blown Apart would be perfect for Josh Brolin production company. My understanding is that he was workshopping that George Jones script idea. So he was set to play that, and then Michael Shannon, they gave it to Michael Shannon. So again, these properties move from place to place. Different people acquire them. That's fine. Any of these can be acquired. No problem. We'll workshop it up to a certain point. It's up to the people who buy it whether or not they want to bury it, like they tried to bury me and my band and my songs. It was really sad, man. I don't know what your people's problem is, but it's on site for quite a number of you back in Detroit. Make no mistake about that. You should have done the job right. You're a bunch of phonies. But take it easy. Yeah, it hurts. Make no mistake about that. All right, so we have the Parkway Pals. Again, this is like grounded for life. Okay, that's the idea behind it. Now, we can take it wherever you want to go. This is one of my favorites here, is Animals. With a Z. Very simple stuff. Animals, that's right. It's about biology. It's about zoology. Okay, it's a great storyline. A zoo biologist, goes mad, and he starts taking all the samples from all the animals, and then he begins to produce them en masse through cloning. But he doesn't have all the right equipment, and so they're coming out strange. So yeah, it's a bear, but you can tell that it's something isn't quite right with the bear, right? Or whatever animal. And so they release these animals, and then you have to wonder why he's releasing all these mosquitoes. Sound familiar? Right? And then you realize, well, he's gonna do what next? He's gonna release bats. The bats eat the mosquitoes, then the bats take over, and then whatever could kill the bats. I don't know. You have to look into these things yourself. This is just a pilot episode. I'll have all this written out on Kindle, and I'll probably be doing AI animation on all this stuff. Okay, I'll just do it myself. Who else is going to do it? Hey, I'm here to save Hollywood, but who's here to save me? I don't need a savior. I can save myself, thank you. But what I don't need is a gang of individuals from Michigan and Detroit ganging up on me and harassing me. That's what I don't need, okay? I never needed that, and I don't appreciate it. So, it's like, okay. Okay, so that brings us to animals, and we are Martian, okay? This is such a great idea because we're going to get into the Greys. Now, the Greys have these elongated skulls and these eyes. And so after an Elon Musk type character takes these people to Mars, then they begin another generation, right? 100 years later. So their kids start having kids, and the kids are born on Mars. And so, well, the first Martian is born. You keep cutting back and vacillating through time, similar to linoleum blown apart. You keep cutting back through time to where the original set down, and who are these people now? And these Martians become super arrogant, and this is great. And there's a lot of room for humor in this, a lot of room for comedy. We Are Martian is telling the Americans, the Earthlings, right? And then you have the international jokes that you can have because they're one, right? Similar to where they want the United Nations for our world to become one. They're already one because they're not going to start splitting up, right? The people there, we are Martian. It says it all in the title. Hey, we are Martian. We're not you. We're better than you. This goes into the class system, into the caste system. Okay? So, I don't know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, I don't know. Here we go. LA 2039. That's right. If you don't like the title, too bad. It's based on the Metonic cycle. Right here on my show, I showed you the Metonic cycle, how it worked from COVID-19 to 2001, all the way back to the JFK assassination. Okay? Things happen on this 19-year cycle, and in this story, it's the story of a meltdown, a nuclear meltdown here in Los Angeles, and people start evacuating the city. There's a couple things going on. Just like now, there's some crazy new dope that's out, and it turns people into zombies, okay? It's a drug, street drug that's out that everybody's using. And then you have the layoff of the police department due to panopticon policing. So you have a guy who's been a cop for quite a while, lose his job, he's lost. He doesn't know what to do, okay? He's like, well, what do I do now? I've been a cop my whole life. And people begin recognizing him on the street. Hey man, you remember arresting me? Hey, now you're out here with us. Okay, so that causes the drama there. There's a couple more plot points to it, but that's LA 2039. And what do we got here? 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 8 great pitches to save Hollywood, but what do I have? What's the best one? And I've been leaving it on all of Sylvester Stallone's posts. Stallonosaurus. That's right. Look, Stallonosaurus. What came first, the chicken or the egg? Me, Stallonosaurus. That is the tagline. What came first, the chicken or the egg? Question mark. Me, Stallonosaurus. That's right. Dinosaurs were before the chicken and the egg. And that's a little funny tagline in there for him. And that would be a cartoon where Sylvester Stallone, easy for me to say, does the voiceover, or somebody who sounds like him with his permission. He's got about 3 shows playing right now. These guys never stop. These action guys, they're always up to something. They have production companies, okay? Last night, I got to tell you something weird. I had a dream that Bradley Cooper was directing a film. I don't know why. I don't know why I had this dream. He was directing it in the wintertime. There was a lot of snow, and I fucked up one of his shots. That was the dream. I don't know why I had this dream, but again, these are the 8 pitches to save Hollywood, okay? And yes, I will. Linoleum Blown Apart is number 1. I think Roger Avery and Quentin Tarantino need to get involved in Linoleum Blown Apart right away. There's 7 films that have to be shot before the on-demand series actually gets shot. These are pitches for television series, however you want to see. They call them on-demand series now, okay? It's not television, whatever. It's my generation, what do you want? Okay, Golden Years. This is a Johnny Depp style rock and roll guy. The Hollywood vampires are ready to walk into this role, okay? This is ready to go, all right? And all you have to do is animate these old rock and roll stories from all the major rock and roll guys, from the Scorpions, keep naming the bands, Kiss, all these bands, okay? Local legends. This is like American Pickers. You just go out there with all these digital cameras attached, go talk to the old salts and the old rock and rollers from these old neighborhoods, these old guys, okay? Facebook, Life Swap / The Name Game. You take people who have similar names and you swap out their lives. It's very, very simple stuff. The pilot, I'm only doing the pilot episodes on all these except for Linoleum Blown Apart. Okay, after that, it's up to you to get it going. Here we have Parkway Pals. This is a grounded for life style sitcom, okay, about people from 2 different cultures who become fast friends. And let's not forget, the females are the vapid materialists, and the men are more philosophical. Okay, let's not forget that. Animals, about biology, about zoology. It's about Darwinism. It's about cloning, okay? And the ability not to be able to clone them completely, like, you know, Dolly the sheep with her hoof coming out of her head, like that kind of creepy stuff. This could be very creepy, very interesting, and it could be learning and teaching as well, okay? We have We Are Martian. It's really about the caste system. It's about the elite. It's about essential workers, right? The Martians believe that they're essential, and they start believing that, hey, the Earthlings might not be so essential after all, right? Pretty scary stuff. LA 2039 is very futuristic. Omega Man, that's about Los Angeles, and they have a Fukushima type meltdown of nuclear proportions, right? And maybe you could get these highly radiated animals and things growing crazy, and a lot of things thrown at you in here. But it's about a police officer who gets laid off because they're doing panopticon policing now, and they don't need as many boots on the ground as they say. And they could use weapons, neurological weapons, to control crowds and things like that. Okay, and the very last one, of course, one of my heroes, Sylvester Stallone. You know, we have a couple things in common. I don't want to bring them up here, but right, rocking out with ourselves out. And what came first, the chicken or the egg? Me, Stallonosaurus. It's a cartoon voiced by Sylvester Stallone for his production company. Those are the 8 pitches that are going to save Hollywood. My name is Gordon Douglas Eisen. I currently live in Hollywood. I stay at the tiny homes and I eat off the EBT menu. Thank you very much for watching my show. I appreciate it more than you'll ever know.